Well, hello people, it's Fred here from restocad60plus.com.au, or Rough and Ready Freddy as I'm known in some places, very unkindly of course. Here doing a bit of a service on my 1994 VS Holden Commodore Utility V6. Recently put a new gearbox in it, or a second hand one, part of a engine and gearbox combination I bought for $250 on Gumtree. It has 157,000 genuine kilometres on it, so it hasn't had a lot of use. This whole thing here has done over 600,000, and we've only just changed the gearbox and decided to refuse to select reverse. The box that's in it changes extremely well, hasn't been serviced yet. The mechanic friend that did it for me said to run it around for a while because the oil was pretty good in it, so that's what I've been doing, and it's been gradually getting better because with use they do improve. They're a pretty good box, these things. They can be put up behind a lot of motors and are fitted to a lot of cars, particularly in America. And the old V6 of course is based on the Buick V6 wire and heads, which means they're pretty darn good. This particular Ute's had head job done on it, valves, port and polish, cams the same, everything else about the motor's stock. It's had a larger exhaust system from the cat back, which has made quite a bit of difference to it. Car's on gas and petrol. Does about 5 to 6k per litre on gas, which is not too bad, but it's a bit heavy really. The gas should be really tuned to go into the motor at a much higher temperature than petrol. Should be up around about 80 degrees centigrade on the intake. Petrol doesn't need that. The idea of course is to get the maximum amount of mileage you can out of it, so apart from the basic gas system there's not much else being done with it. I'm going to change the oil, which I've already drained out. It's been sitting here for 3 days while we waited for a decent day to come up. We had 3 days of on and off showers and wet ground, and I don't like getting wet. So that's what I'm on about now. I'm going to change the filter. That's the common old filter there. There's the tool. Cleaned out the Phillip here by doing it with some degreaser, and then I've swilled a bit of methylated spirits through it because it soaks up all the water. You should always use clean material when you're doing anything to do with vehicles at all. Motor should be clean as possible. You should not be doing work on an engine that's dirty. You'll get garbage down there, especially with some of the later model cars. They do not like the dirt in any form at all. Very bad for them. These old nails here, well, they do get abused, but the huge mileage that this car has done, still on its original engine. You're starting to get a bit of main bearing knock at the moment, so we limit it to 3,000 revs, and so long as the oil pressure's up and it seems to run quite well. Doesn't burn oil, leaks it. So it's done its work, and it'll be pulled down and we'll check it out, and I'll put the other motor in it. I'm going to get a replacement loom for it, because when the people took the motor out of the other car they decided to cut all the wires, so they did, and they left all the switches and plugs and everything else, including the computer plug and half the wiring in the car. So now I will get a second hand one, which I will give to my friend, my auto electrics friend, and I will get him to make a new loom for it, because you can't buy new ones for these anymore, and when the motor's changed I want the wiring and everything up to scratch in it. The car's been well maintained, had a lot of money spent on it, handles extremely well, drives well. It's got plastic all through the suspension in it. It's got Z bars which have been modified, links that have been modified. It's had strengthened traction rods at the back, so it's had everything done to it to make it go well and handle well, and it does. This vehicle's been across to Western Australia 2 or 3 times, and when it was a bit younger, and my younger brother drove it over there, 5,000 k's, cruising at 150 k's an hour on the Nullarbor Plain, where we have a straight that goes for 144 miles without a bend in it. Police like it because they can get out there and make lots of money, but he managed to avoid them. So the car has run hard, and it's run fast, and it's been used, not abused. We believe in driving cars, even old ones, driving them to their design. So if they're built to do 60 or 70 miles an hour, that's what they get driven at. I'm no believer in trailer queens. I like to see vehicles, no matter how old they are, used for the purpose for which they were built. Anyway, enough of this. Get on with the job of doing that I've got to do. I've got the oil down here, so I'm going to pull it out, put the camera on it, and let you see the mess that came out of it after I've done it. Haven't flushed it yet. It'll be run for 2,000 k's with this new oil in it. Another filter on it, then it'll be flushed, and then we'll put another lot of oil in it, and then we'll run it at about 5,000 k's before it's changed again. Okay. Just go off camera for a bit while I put it down, so we can see what we are doing. Okie dokie. Right, now just bring it up. Bring it up to let you see the mess that's in here. You probably can see a bit of it already. Don't get old, people, it's bad for you. That makes a bit of hell of a mess of you, actually. Okay, there's the plug. There's the oil. The oil's disgusting. There it is. Now, that's oil that hasn't been in there all that long. It's got an anti-wear in it, so it's still protecting the engine to a degree, but that is giving you an indication of what happens when you get a bit of blow-by in the rings, and I'm sure it's got a bit. And it's been worked, and it's done relatively short runs. Cars don't like short runs, that's why you should get the motors out of them, the oil out of the motors pretty quickly. Right, so that's that. Put that to one side. There, we'll put the plug there, and very shortly I'll get the oil filter off it. So I'll just put that to one side here and put the thing up underneath it so I can get the oil filter off, which sits at the side of the motor. They're disgusting oil filters, these things, really. This tiny little thing here, is expected to do a filter job on a car. Look at it. I mean, I reckon an ant with a backpack would do a better job of filtering than that. And I see no reason why, in fact, I couldn't find a different filter, a bigger one, or get a bypass on it and stick a bypass oil filter on it with a toilet paper roll in it, which would at least filter the oil. So this would, it's virtually useless. Once it's about 2,000 k's in a dirty motor, it's just bypassing straight back into the engine, which is one of the reasons why it's dirty. So that's what's got to go on it. However, don't ever put oil in a car that's changing the filter, no matter how poor you think it is. Not a good idea. You'll have to forgive the quality of the video because I haven't learned how to edit yet. That will come in due course. So if I can get it off with this thing, which I can't. Let's see if I can twist it off. Which I want to be able to do. No. No. I'll have to go and get another changer for it. I'll just switch it off for a minute.